A beautiful ball inside the box and scored!
Eagle Nation, it is great to see you again. No, but it is intercepted! Oh, what a play!
Off in the attack. Game, set, match. Georgia Southern with the win.
Shot on and score! Eagle Nation, welcome back to Blue White Weekly, your weekly look inside Georgia Southern athletics. I'm Danny Reed. Lots to cover this week, including women's soccer head coach Chris Adams. In this week's installment of a Georgia Southern story, we'll look at men's soccer, volleyball, and preview women's tennis's fall tournament this weekend. But in our opening segment, brought to you by Optum Medical Center, Georgia Southern football returned last weekend, opening the 2021 season right here at Allen E. Paulson Stadium with a 30-25 victory over the Gardner-Webb Runnin' Bulldogs. Colin visited with head coach Chad Lunsford earlier this week to wrap up the victory.
Thanks, Danny. Joined here by head coach Chad Lunsford. And, Coach, going back to last week's game against Gardner-Webb here at Allen E. Paulson, before we dive into the game, how good was it to get back on the field here at Paulson, 100% capacity? How good did it feel to be on the field?
Man, it felt great. And it really started with that bus ride around campus. The vibe, the environment, man, and just getting into Paulson and feeling that energy, feeling that environment. And, it was just very grateful, very thankful for the opportunity and just being able to experience it again.
Get the victory over Gardner-Webb 30-25, and something that you talked about with Russ after the game was when you went into the locker room after the game, obviously you weren't necessarily 100% excited of what you saw, but the biggest thing that you took out of it was when you walked into the locker room, you didn't have to start saying anything because the players were already addressing it.
Yeah, I was very interested in what the locker room was going to be like when I walked in. I went in and they were already talking about it, that they just didn't feel like it was good enough, and they didn't feel like we either reached the standard or exceeded the standard. And so I thought that was really awesome. I thought we started off fine. I thought the first half, good. I wouldn't say great, but good. We had an opportunity to put the game the way we wanted it, what we wanted to do, and put it away, and we didn't do that. So that's why those guys were disappointed.
A lot of people say all the time that the biggest improvements you see in football is from week 1 to week 2. Going back and looking at the film, what are some of the things you take from Gardner-Webb to build off of?
Well, there were some positives in the game. I mean, when you open the game and you have 4 possessions in the first half on offense and you score on all 4, and then when you look at the statistics, which statistics can be whatever you want it to be. You can control the narrative, but when you see that you ran 85 plays, which is probably up 15 to 20 plays over our average last year, and then putting up 500 yards of offense and not turning the ball over. I do think we settled for field goal in the second half because of not finishing off a red zone play. That gets a little bit frustrating there. You would rather have touchdowns than field goals. However, when you start thinking about all the drives in that game, the offense did a really good job of moving it down the field. Defensively, I think everything would have been fine defensively if we don't give up the 3 long balls. The 3 long balls came off 2 technical errors and then 1, just dirty eyes on a trick play. And if you eliminate those 3 plays, I think there's a different thought process of our defense. So I think there's a lot of positives to take off of this because the things that did happen, I believe, are very correctable, and we can be much better the second week.
With the season opener, you get a lot of guys their first action in college football on all 3 phases, really, but a guy that really jumped out, especially to start the game, Britton Williams at kicker. His first attempt in a college atmosphere is a 49-yarder, and he drills it. Talk about what that does to not just him but this team.
We've put our kickers in really tough situations in practice, and I think that all of our kickers have really handled that really well in practice, and then I think that really showed in the game with Britton. And the big piece now we got to do with him is he's got to understand he's only as good as his next kick. But I think he's up for it. Obviously the way he performed in that first game shows that he is.
Coach, appreciate the time. We'll catch up a little bit later.
Thank you.
When we come back, it's a Georgia Southern story with women's soccer head coach Chris Adams when Blue White Weekly continues.
Hey, you! Domino's is giving away $50 million in surprise frees.
A whole pizza?
Yes.
Other delivery apps add surprise fees.
It's not cheap.
At Domino's, we're giving out surprise frees instead.
Surprise freeze!
Surprise what?
Freeze with an R.
When you order delivery online, you could be surprised with free lava cakes, free stuffed cheesy bread, free pizza, or more.
Yes!
Check the Domino's tracker to find out.
Where are you gonna have pizza next time?
Domino's! That's what I love to hear.
Georgia Power is here with a little reminder of how easy it is to save energy at home. Because it's often as simple as a twist, or as easy as a lift. It could be a little squeeze, or maybe just a pull. These small changes can make a big difference, helping you save energy for the bigger things in life. Visit GeorgiaPower.com for tips and programs to help save energy and money.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we built the truck of the future for everyone. Ford F-150. With best-in-class available towing and payload and an available interior work surface. It's built to work hard and smart. Because the truck of the future isn't built for a few, it's built for America. Ford F-150. Drive one today. Just announced, get 0% financing for 72 months on a 2021 Ford F-150. That's an offer built for you.
Decorative towel.
There was a mess. I wiped up a mess.
Yeah, you did.
Where is the Never mind, I found it!
Welcome back, football fans. We'll see you in the fridge.
The great thing about joining the Sun Belt for Georgia Southern was, that opportunity for our guys to go experience bowl games. They're able to fight for a conference championship each and every year and then have the opportunity to go finish the season off with a bowl victory.
Our team recreated each moment in a way that honors the story and retells the story for many generations to come. From the beginning, we've always just wanted to build something that honored Georgia Southern, and they'll stand the test of time.
Welcome back to Blue White Weekly, your weekly look into Georgia Southern athletics. Presented by Ford, go further. Georgia Power, a Southern company.
Welcome back to Blue White Weekly, your weekly look inside Georgia Southern athletics. In this week's Georgia Southern story presented by Domino's, we sit down with women's soccer head coach Chris Adams. After a very successful tenure at the University of North Georgia, we'll see if he can continue winning in Southeast Georgia.
I tried football, tried some other sports. Soccer was a sport that, even though I was undersized, I could excel in. Started, I think, at the age of 10. We were on the Sharks and lost every game but tied the last one, which helped me hold on and that there was hope that maybe I could excel, in the sport of soccer. I went to Presbyterian College and played, but then I transferred back to University of Georgia. It was one of those, by having it taken away, I realized just how bad I missed it and how much a part of my life it was. Was fortunate enough to see an advertisement that the University of Georgia was starting a women's program, so I went to the head coach, Bill Barker, and offered to be a volunteer assistant coach, and that's really what got me my start in coaching. That first job with UGA, I think, was probably the most instrumental. With us just building the program from scratch. And I think, many of the things I do today were from those early days where I saw, first class organization at UGA and have tried to emulate many of the things that they did way back in 1995. I went to Jacksonville State for a year and a half and worked under Coach Lisa Howell. Very good experience. I started out as a graduate assistant. I left and then kind of 2-year stints. So I did a year and a half at Jacksonville State. Then I went back to Athens, where I'm from, and ran the YWCO soccer program for 2 years. Then I went back and taught at Clark Central High School for 2 years and coached both the men and women's high school programs there. And then I got the opportunity to go to North Georgia when they were NAIA and be both the men and women's head coach for a 2-year span. Soccer is definitely my passion, but I also have 2 daughters, and so this is this is a great environment for them to grow up in and emulate. I think, my family motivates me to do this and allow my daughters to grow up around these student athletes and emulate them. And my wife, that allows me to chase my passion. So credit to my wife for holding the fort down while I'm here, there, and everywhere in the fall. I want to create a team and a program that people want to be a part of. Our challenge is more so just trying to create consistency here. I think it's been a culture of mediocrity, if I'm being honest. And with only 2 winning seasons in the last 10 years, I think we're looking for that consistency and looking to be able to build something in a fashion that's sustainable, not just a flash in the pan and 1 year of success, doing things the right way where we can sustain it over a long period of time. And so, that was something I was fortunate to do at North Georgia. I think the last 10 or 11 years, we had double-digit wins every year, and I think that's kind of the model that I'm looking to implement here at Georgia Southern.
On the other side of the break, we talk Georgia Southern Olympic sports when Blue White Weekly continues.
Dear Mr. McCook, in the aftermath of the crazy year we just had, I am writing to say thank you for making our success possible. The tangible ways that you supported us were dramatic and real. You encouraged the athletes during a pandemic and also funded their scholarships. We went from the possibility of not having any sports to having a mostly complete playing season. We are so grateful to you and Eagle Nation for the strong support system and for making it all possible.
This is it. This is the day we worked for. All the months of preparation, all the hard work. Blue collar, discipline, toughness. That is what has led to this moment. There are people out there that tell you you can't do it. But what do we say to that? GA! They will tell you you're not fast enough. They'll tell you you're not strong enough. But what do we say to that? They will tell you you can't have it, you don't deserve it. But what do we say to that? Get after those assets.
So you'd like to open a checking account today? Decorative towel.
There was a mess. I wiped up a mess.
Yeah, you...
Where is the Never mind, I found it!
Welcome back, football fans. We'll see you in the fridge.
The Clubhouse in Statesboro, Southeast Georgia's best place to play. The Clubhouse in Statesboro, where fun is done. Welcome back to Blue White Weekly, your weekly look into Georgia Southern athletics. Presented by Bud Light. Responsibility has its rewards. Enjoy responsibly. Cutwater Spirits, America's most awarded canned cocktails.
Welcome back to Blue White Weekly, your weekly look inside Georgia Southern athletics. This week's Olympics segment brought to you by Macon Occupational Medicine. Colin, we begin on the pitch with men's and women's soccer.
Georgia Southern men's soccer, they've had a tough schedule to start off. They're going to have 3 top 20 teams. We're going to get to one in just a moment, but they fell to number 6 UNC this past Friday. Then on Sunday, they got the victory, bounced back against Wofford with a 2-0 victory, had a quick stop at home against North Florida this weekend, and then they're back into the tough schedule. They will face number 2 in the country in the Clemson Tigers up there coming up on Tuesday. Women's soccer fell 1-0 against Jacksonville State this past Sunday. With a quick stop at home that they had with men's soccer, they face Stetson on Friday, and then they will head to Mercer coming up on Sunday.
Meanwhile, for Georgia Southern volleyball on the road for the first time this year at the Blazer Invitational, things didn't go quite their way.
Yeah, it was a tough weekend for Georgia Southern volleyball. Fell in both of those matches against UAB and Kennesaw State. They're currently hosting the Eagle Invitational this weekend inside Hanner Fieldhouse with FIU and Murray State, and they will host their 3rd tournament of the season next week with the GATA Challenge. They've got Alabama State, USC Upstate, and Mercer coming into Hanner.
We'll have a full recap of all of that on next week's edition of Blue White Weekly. When we come back from this timeout, Haley sits down with cross country and track and field head coach Kelly Carter in this week's Coach's Corner. That's when Blue White Weekly continues.
Are you suffering from hip or knee pain? Don't let the pain hold you back. The region's most experienced robotic joint replacement team at Optum Health System offers an individually tailored approach that is more precise and creates smaller incisions. For you, that can mean a faster recovery with less pain. Your comeback starts here. Call today to find out if robotic-assisted joint replacement is right for you.
The great thing about joining the Sun Belt for Georgia Southern was, that opportunity for our guys to go experience bowl games. They're able to fight for a conference championship each and every year, and then have the opportunity to go finish the season off with a bowl victory.
Our team recreated each moment in a way that honors the story and retells the story for many generations to come. From the beginning, we've always just wanted to build something that honored Georgia Southern, and they'll stand the test of time.
Because of this, we built the most powerful Ford Explorer ever with 400 horsepower. Because of this, we built Ford Expedition with best-in-class towing and plenty of room for crew and cargo. Because of this, we built Escape with Ford Copilot 360. And because Ford SUVs are built for this, you made Ford America's best-selling brand.
At Georgia Power, our customers are at the center of everything we do. We're investing in technology to increase the resiliency of our power grid, expanding our infrastructure to shorten outage and repair time, and providing a cleaner, more diverse fuel mix with solar and nuclear energy. We're working hard to keep energy at a cost 15% below the national average, while maintaining the highest levels of customer service and satisfaction. With reliable energy, the future is in your hands.
Welcome back to Blue White Weekly, your weekly look into Georgia Southern athletics. Presented by Ford, go further. Georgia Power, a Southern company.
Welcome back to Blue White Weekly, your inside look at Georgia Southern athletics. On this week's edition of Coach's Corner presented by Ford, we're here at Eagle Field with head coach Kelly Carter. Coach, welcome in.
Thank you very much.
You've got a start of a new season coming up this weekend. What are you most looking forward to with this new team?
Well, just the competition part of it. It's good to, the first beginning of the year, it's always good to get out and see where everybody is, see what they did, how they've done over the summer, how their training's going. It's always a good barometer just to, on that first meet, just to see where we're at and know what we need to work on.
After a really interesting year of dealing with COVID and all the protocols, what has the adjustment been like? Has it been easier for your team, or?
Well, it's just getting back to normal. It's getting back to a little bit of normalcy, whatever normal is now. They've done a really good job of taking care of each other, taking care of themselves, and with all the changes that happened over the last year and a half, it's just good to have a little bit of normalcy for them to go out and just compete and see where they're at. And so it's been an adjustment, but I think we've handled it well.
You've got a couple of big meets coming up this weekend and this month. Has there been anyone in practice that has really stood out to you or maybe improved since last season?
Well, our senior leadership, I say seniors, but we only have one senior, But our upperclassmen, Hannah Wise and Abby, Abby, it's good to see them come back. Some of we had 6, I guess, freshmen come in, and it's always exciting to see where they're going to come at. So I think they're always going to come together and work hard. The relationships have been great so far, and so I guess you could say, looking at them, I'm excited about where they're going to be, and so we'll see.
Speaking of just being excited about this program, looking at track and field and cross country as a whole, what excites you the most about your program that you have here?
Just being able to come back. Just being able to come back, and the relationships, the resilience that they've shown, the teamwork that they've shown, the level of care they have for each other. It's always exciting as a coach to watch people grow. I always say that I'm a life coach that happens to coach track and field. And so watching everyone come together, no matter what sport it is, no matter what discipline it is, it's always a pleasure and just an honor to be a part of that and watch them grow.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your time, Coach.
Thank you.
Again, that was head coach Kelly Carter on this week's edition of Coach's Corner presented by Ford. We'll be right back with more Blue White Weekly.
At Domino's, we're more than just pizza for $5.99. We're $5.99 bread twists, $5.99 sandwiches, $5.99 pastas, $5.99 chicken, and yes, $5.99 pizza too. We didn't stop at pizza, and you don't have to either.
Georgia Power is here with a little reminder of how easy it is to save energy at home. Because it's often as simple as a twist, or as easy as a lift. It could be a little squeeze, or maybe just a pull. These small changes can make a big difference, helping you save energy for the bigger things in life. Visit georgiapower.com for tips and programs to help save energy and money.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we built the truck of the future for everyone. Ford F-150. With best-in-class available towing and payload and an available interior work surface. It's built to work hard and smart. Because the truck of the future isn't built for a few, it's built for America. Ford F-150. Drive one today.
Just announced, get 0% financing for 72 months on a 2021 Ford F-150. That's an offer built for you.
The great thing about joining the Sun Belt for Georgia Southern was, that opportunity for our guys to go experience bowl games. They're able to fight for a conference championship each and every year, and then have the opportunity to go finish the season off with a bowl victory.
Our team recreated each moment in a way that honors the story and retells the story for many generations to come. From the beginning, we've always just wanted to build something that honored Georgia Southern, and they'll stand the test of time.
Dear Mr. McCook, in the aftermath of the crazy year we just had, I am writing to say thank you for making our success possible. The tangible ways that you supported us were dramatic and real. You encouraged the athletes during a pandemic and also funded their scholarships. We went from the possibility of not having any sports to having a mostly complete playing season. We are so grateful to you and Eagle Nation for the strong support system and for making it all possible.
Introducing the first stain worthy of the yellow tag. Yellowwood Protector Stain and Sealer. Powerful protection for your deck. Available in pre-mixed grab-and-go cans. Find a Yellowwood dealer near you.
Welcome back to Blue White Weekly, your weekly look into Georgia Southern athletics. Presented by Bud Light. Responsibility has its rewards. Enjoy responsibly. Cutwater Spirits, America's most awarded canned cocktails.
Welcome back to Blue White Weekly, your weekly look inside Georgia Southern athletics. This week's final segment all about Georgia Southern football. First road game of 2021, first ever trip to Boca Raton, Florida. Second straight year calling. It's Georgia Southern against FAU.
Yeah, it's a former Sun Belt team. Georgia Southern and FAU never overlapped in Sun Belt Conference play. It's a very similar team, but also a very different team than Georgia Southern saw last year. Two new coordinators on either side of the ball for FAU, but a lot of the same suspects that Georgia Southern saw a year ago.
Eagles picked up that 20-3 victory last December inside Paulson Stadium. Here's Coach Lunsford with more.
Coach, you go into week number 2, your first road trip of the season, as you head down to Boca Raton to take on Florida Atlantic. It's an FAU team that fell to Florida last week, but held in pretty tough in that fight. What have you seen on tape from the Owls?
I think they're very talented. I think they're very fast, physical football team. Defensively, when you look at them, got a lot of returners, and just play hard-nosed defense. Offensively, they serve up a lot of challenges. They've got really good skill players, receivers, running backs are really fast. I think their transfer quarterback is pretty impressive, dual threat guy that can throw it and run it. So this is definitely going to be a tough task, and we're going to have to make sure that we're clicking on all cylinders and prepared to play.
When you look at what they do formationally, how similar is it to what you saw a year ago in the sense that you've got new coordinators on both sides of the ball for FAU?
Well, I think the big piece with them defensively, there will be a lot of carryover from our first game, Gardner-Webb, to them, because they're very similar in playing 4-down defense and jumping into odd. But when you start talking about them offensively, I do feel like Coach Taggart's heavily involved in the offense. So I think we'll see a lot of similar stuff from last year. Obviously, having a new coordinator, we just got to be prepared for those things, and we got to trust our rules, we got to trust our technique, got to trust our eyes, and make sure we make good decisions.
Finally, before we let you go, your first road trip of the season, what are some of the challenges with a new team every year that you have to go through on a first road trip?
We really got to explain it. We got to explain what travel looks like, expectations of travel. They've got to understand that it is different. It's not the same as at home. The environment may be different. We don't know what the energy level will be at FAU like it is at Paulson. But even if they do have a high energy level, it's going to be in their favor, not ours. And we've got to understand that we've got to bring our own energy, and we've got to play with energy over emotion. And I think teaching them that and trying to take a little of the gray area out, let them understand the expectations beforehand instead of letting them get there and then figuring it out is important.
Coach, appreciate the time. Good luck this week against FAU.
Thank you. GATA.
Kickoff from FAU Stadium is set for 3:30. Available on Stadium. You can go to watchstadium.com to find out all the streaming information. On the Georgia Southern Sports Network, Cutwater Tailgate Show begins at 1:30. Eagles are trying for a 2-0 start, something they haven't had since 2018. FAU also honoring the life of the late Howard Schnellenberger, whom the field is named after in Palm Beach County.
And it's an incredible weekend for Coach Schnellenberger that they've got planned, passed away just a couple of months ago, but being able to honor what he was able to do, not just for FAU, but the entire state of Florida and the football community, spent time with the Miami Dolphins, but being able to do this weekend, it's going to be a really special thing to be a part of.
That'll wrap up this week's edition of Blue White Weekly. We want to thank everybody at the Multimedia Development Center for their fine work as always. For Colin Lacey, this is Danny Reed. We'll talk to you next week on Blue White Weekly.